So there's another Chinese ship spotted off the shores of Darwin just a few days ago. And then in the last 24 hours also, if you look at the timing, a couple of Chinese people were found in Kalumburu, close to Wyndham, if you don't know where it is on the map. Now, don't you think the timing is ironic? Who's to say they weren't dropped off there by the Chinese ships themselves, all at the same time? Now, here's another thing. What makes you think that the Australian government know that we're going to be taken over? So they're doing the Chinese dirty work by giving us digital ID, restricting our content. Have you guys thought about all of this? Or are you still going through life sleepwalking? And to be quite honest, I think we need a war in this country. I don't think there'll be a war. I think it'll just be a simple takeover, because we've lost our backbone and our spine. We're quite happy to fight each other, but we won't fight for this country. And it's all because politicians have been taking money under the table for decades. They like to blame each other, but they've been playing the game from day one. Now, in a couple of days, I will prove to you, not just say it, I will prove to you that governments here in Australia have been supporting the United Kingdom since colonial days. And I will prove to you that the two-party system is nothing more than two corporations. It's one thing to say it, but it's another to prove it. And I'm going to prove it. Now, both governments have been set in place to look after corporations, not the Australian people. The laws that are in place right now, it's all about keeping people in check, because we outnumber them. But here we are in 2025, and I can bet you something serious is going to happen in 2026. But whatever it is, we need a sandcastle moment. It's the only way to shake this country up and realize just how good you have it, and how complacent you have become, and how you have been ruled by 200 people around the world, and yet there's 83 billion people on this earth. We allow them to kill us, to inject us, to poison our foods, to poison our waterways, to take our land, take our homes, and tell us how to parent and how to live our lives. Maybe we need a sandcastle moment where everything has to be smashed and rebuilt to appreciate what we have. Because this country is a bunch of sheep, and we keep doing the same thing. We don't have the backbone and the spine of the Second World War. We lost that because we left the weak men behind to run this nation.
6 Chinese nationals have been detained after being found near a remote community in Western Australia. An off-duty officer spotted 2 men north of Kalumburu on the Kimberley coast, leading to a search that found 4 more men. Locals raised the alarm, noticing the group's unusual clothing in the humid weather. Authorities believe that they arrived illegally by boat, and the matter is now with the Australian Border Force.
And the Pacific. And
this is the so-called Fortress Belt, one of the most fortified parts of Ukraine.
we maintain constant maritime domain awareness in our geographic areas of interest. That's Southeast Asia, Northeast Asia, the Northeast Indian Ocean and the Pacific. And in that context, we will routinely monitor the movements of PLAN vessels.
Reports show the firepower in a new Chinese task group being monitored off Papua New Guinea is a near match to the entire Royal Australian Navy. The flotilla includes a Type 055D cruiser carrying 112 missile launch cells and a Type 054A frigate holding an additional 32. They are supported by a replenishment vessel, allowing the group to refuel without docking. Australia owns 2 ships of this type, but both have been sidelined by mechanical failures. The main combatant is a Type 075 amphibious assault ship. While it belongs to the same class as HMAS Canberra and HMAS Adelaide, it carries as many helicopters, tanks, and troops as both Australian flagships combined. In contrast, less than half the total Australian fleet is operational. Defence Minister Richard Marles and Defence Chief Admiral David Johnston confirmed Australia was monitoring the People's Liberation Army Navy ships off the coast of Palau, announcing it already has RAAF P-8A Poseidon surveillance aircraft on the job in an effort to preempt public fears.
I want to confirm today that Defence is monitoring a Chinese PLA-N task group.
Experts have described the move as a form of military coercion, saying Beijing is seeking to drive a wedge into Canberra's commitment to securing territorial waters for allies such as Japan and the Philippines. Lawyer and analyst Oliver Sinclair believes they succeeded in a similar task last year. This hysteria was not an unpleasant byproduct of the mission, but a calculated move designed to exploit Australia's sense of security. ANU National Security College analyst Jennifer Parker said in a post on X, "It's still not common for China to deploy Type 075 task groups beyond the first island chain. They did so in 2023, but I wouldn't say amphibious TG deployments into the Western Pacific are routine at all." The Chinese warships operated within Australia's exclusive economic zone at the same distances RAN warships travelled in the South China Sea. Experts say the move is a strategic act of lawfare, designed to force a reflection on Australia's decision to conduct freedom of navigation operations. While China insists it owns the entire South China Sea, despite international rulings, the Albanese government accepts that international law allows China to send combat fleets around territorial waters.